We all have been there, we have lost a tennis match and we really did not know why it actually happened. That is why in this video I want to give you 5 reasons why I have lost tennis matches in the past and how you can learn from my mistakes. Let's start with reason number 1. We all know that a game plan is very important coming into a match. But we club players probably have more problem than pro players because we most of the time don't know the opponent or there's no match footage anywhere in the internet. So when I was 16 years old, I played this 30-year-old man where I lost in 3 sets. By the way, I did not play as good as I'm playing now, obviously. What was the problem? I did not have a game plan or even come up with new ideas during the match on how to win points. I just played my usual aggressive forehand game, which I usually like doing. So what was happening during the match? I won the first set 6-2 and my opponent came up with the idea just to hit high loopy balls to my backhand. And my backhand back then was pretty bad too. I constantly was missing in the net. So the only option was to run around and hit inside out forehands, which not only made me miss a lot but also take a lot of energy from me. So I lost 6-2, 4-6, 1-6. So 13 years later, at almost 29 years old, what would I do instead? How can I play now to make him more uncomfortable than he makes me uncomfortable? I would probably use the slice more, try to make him move forward and simply wait for my chances. And now I also can rely more on my backhand. What I recommend is to test the opponent already in the warm-up and in the first couple of games and see which shots he misses a lot, he doesn't like, where we get easy balls. Is it the low slice? Is it when you play to his backhand or is it something else? And also, how can my strengths make him miss more or get me easy balls? If you're aware of what is going on with your opponent's game and how to utilize the weakness, you will likely win more matches. In tennis, we all know that there are a lot of breaks either between points or during the changeover. Using the time effectively is key to winning more tennis matches. At least for me, it is one of the most important things I still learn and try to utilize every single tennis match I play in. For context, I get frustrated very easily and those breaks can really help me to clear my mind and get the right attitude back. So here's what you can do between points. It is important to focus more on yourself here and not so much what the opponent is doing. Try to breathe consciously and deeply and get your heart rate down as quickly as possible. And you have around 25 seconds, so use that time. What am I trying to do after I lost a point in the following? Every time I say, okay, I tried it, but it did not work out, but does not matter, let's go again. We're hanging in there. Let's keep the right attitude and play with heart and we're good to go. It depends of course what the score is, but what I try to tell myself is always positive. It's not always possible, but I try my best. Also, as I said, breathing is very important. That is why I take multiple deep breaths and try to lower my heart rate as soon as possible. Because with a heart rate of over 180, you cannot think clearly and probably making bad mistakes, especially when the legs are already dead. On a changeover, there are a few things, for me at least, that are very important, but I think for all tennis players, these are very important things. First, I always drink a lot of water and some electrolytes with sugar to give me energy and avoid cramping as well. I also have something to eat, like a banana, dates or any form of fruit, which also gives me some good nutrients, and also fast sugar for my energy. If it is hot, cool down with a wet towel. Take deep breaths again and try to find a clear mind. Also try to find positive affirmations which can give you more motivation to play better tennis. And 5, try to read your opponent. As Djokovic said, look for any signs, make eye contact, read him and probably what he's thinking. And in my team, when we play team competition, I have that one friend that sits on my bench, constantly talking, giving me tips and tactics. I don't know about you guys, but that is more disturbing for me than it really helps. I'm interested in your changeover routine. Comment yours down below. Now let's continue with probably the most obvious one. Now let's talk about the one obvious reasons why you're probably losing more than you would like to, and that is bad fitness. And by fitness, I mean mainly tennis endurance. In tennis, there's so much more than fitness than just endurance, but you should have explosive power to be fast on the court, should be mobile and flexible so that you can move like Alcaraz and Djokovic without risking injury. Also having muscle is important so that you're not only stable on the court but also your joints are more safe. Probably the most important is the endurance part. It determines how fast you get tired but also how long you need to recover. As I really hated running or any form of endurance training, I often found myself losing in third sets. I also had some medical issues which did not allow me to breathe properly till I was probably 25 years old. But I solved that issue with my diet almost completely. So what do I do even now? I do kind of hit cardio in the gym, where I do some strength exercises as well, back to back with of course high intensity. And the rest, endurance, I will get from just playing a lot of tennis before the main season starts. I know this is not optimal, but it kind of works for me. My best of 3 sets record was never better than in the last 3 to 4 years. So do not neglect your physical training if you want to win more. The mental part is almost as important as the physical part, and you can see that on the Pro Tour with the best players. Djokovic, Nadal and Federer were the best mentally in tight moments when facing break points, winning deciding sets or tiebreaks. For me, no less run at last year's French Open, where he played like 5 tiebreaks and made no unforced error in any of them, is one of the best examples of a strong mind. He himself stated the following.
Probably one of the biggest lessons I've learned about, I guess, mental strength is that, you know, if you lose your focus, if you things start to go the wrong way for you, it's fine. Accept it and then come back. And I think that recovery of how long you stay in that emotion is what differentiates you from maybe others. Conscious breathing is probably the one ingredient that I would take out as the most important.
I try to follow his steps when it comes to the mental game on the court. In my tennis life, I have struggled with my mental game so much that I lost so many matches I could have won because I was too frustrated, too tired, or just not focused enough. This is the part of my game which I have to work on the most. Sometimes also life is in the way, and tennis is my therapy to let out all my frustrations and anger I have. Sometimes, unfortunately, also RACKET was my victim. Again, I try to incorporate conscious breathing into my tennis routine, as I also mentioned earlier in my video. This not only helps to bring down my heart rate faster, but also shifts the focus to your breath instead of negative thoughts or anything else going through your mind. The next thing is a cheat sheet Andy Murray is using, where he writes down on a piece of paper how he wants to play on the court. This is not only tactics, but more for how he wants to play. Play aggressive, stay true to your strengths, and play with attention, etc. I also incorporated that and have my cheat sheet with me on the court. This is a game changer and a reminder for you on how you want to play tennis. Sometimes we lose our game plan or our intentions because of the opponent's playing style, the circumstances, or just the level we play that day. I have prepared for you templates for positive affirmations and also to prepare you for your next tennis match. If you want to check it out, link is in the description. We all would like to play the aggressive playstyle of Roger, or play the monstrous topspin forehand of Rafa, or play drop shots like Carlitos. But that, unfortunately, is not how it works. I, for instance, always wanted to play like Roger, dictating with my forehand, go to the net a lot, hitting unbelievable volleys, and playing with big serve while staying ultra aggressive. But that was something I had to learn, that it's not going to be that way, and that's not my game style. Firstly, I play on clay, which makes this game style very unusual to work. Second, you have to move so good to play like this, and therefore I made a lot of mistakes in the process. So what I did is, okay, I want to have my forehand as my weapon. So I watched what Roger did. Play aggressive and dictate the point. Okay. On the other hand, my two-handed backhand is pretty weak, so let's check out what Djokovic does on that wing. Okay, he keeps the ball cross court and play high percentage shots, most of the time. Sounds good. Now let's see what Roger does on the serve. A lot of variety and big kick serve. Do you see what I'm doing here? I'm not copying them, but I pick part of the games which I want to incorporate in my game, but adjusting it in my own way. We all have to find ways to look at the best players of our beloved sport and look what they're doing and find a way that we can bring it into our own style of tennis. That is why, for instance, I try to play an open stance sliding backhands like Nole, which I suck at, but it's fun and sometimes it really do work. So what I'm saying is, just do not try to copy them blindlessly, try to find ways to incorporate what they're doing best in your own way. This helped me big time to improve. Also, I would be very interested what tips you could share in the comments. Let's help us together to become better at our sport. If you're interested and have more time, you could watch this video next.